Okay, Frank Bonada here for Sportskeeda MMA. Joining me today is UFC heavyweight Jared Vanderaa, who is stepping up on short notice this weekend to take on Azamat Murzakanov at UFC Fight Night Aldo versus Font. How's it going, man?
Uh, Going as good as it could go, considering that I actually had no, in a sense, no plans slash intentions fighting for the rest of the year. I legitimately been, I just got back in training about 2.5 weeks ago. Oh yeah, so when we talk about cards stacked up against me, they're all there. Uh, I was expecting to fight sometime in the beginning of the year or something. I started talking to the guys at the PI to start working on my weight loss because I'm not happy where I'm at right now. I've been walking around about considering I did a lot of stupid things during spooky season. I'm a big Halloween person, so I had fun after the fight with my family and stuff. I was able to kind of relax and then November, I was just recovering from injuries and bumps and bruises. And then I started getting back in about 2 weeks ago, where I was consistently training. Prior to that, I was once, twice a day. I'd still pop in the gym. But nothing to be anything to hang my hat on. But I immediately, the moment I switched up my dieting, I was like, all right, I'm feeling better. My cardio improves pretty quickly especially once I start kicking out all the stupid shit that I was eating. So I was like, all right, I'm feeling good. And then I hit up my manager. I'm like, hey, what happened with the Boser and Sergey fight? I'm not going to say his last name because it's way too hard. And he was like, he goes, let me check on it. And then I was just curious because eventually I would like to fight Tanner. It just looks like a fun fight on paper between him and me. So I was like, yeah, or if I could get him maybe at the beginning of the year, that'd be perfect. Because there's not too many cards left this year. What was it, next week's card? I don't feel like there's any more room on it. So I was like, and the following card, I was like, there's nothing, they're not going to be trying to shove all that. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then a week passed. I'm back into training a little bit more full swing now, and then I get a call hey, do you want to fight? I'm like, of course I do. You know the answer. So I immediately said yes, but I'm like, all right, you gotta talk to my coaches. Is it my yes is because I like punching people in the face. Their yes is their longevity, they want longevity. So they talked back and forth and they finally they agreed upon it. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go punch this guy in the face. And fast forward 2 days, I'm now here in the hotel.
Yeah, what's that been like the the past 2-3 days upon finding out that the fight's on and where you are now?
It's not necessarily I don't know. I like short notice fights because I liked shorter fights or shorter camps and stuff like that, especially because I do train year round. Even though I did take a break for the last month, I had some bumps and bruises from the Romanov fight. So I was like, I don't need to rush to get back into training. But I was picking up the pace already, and then I was like, yeah, let's just punch somebody.
Awesome. I think, well, the cards, like you say, are going to be stacked against you, as it always is the case on short notice fights. One thing that might be in your favor is I believe Azamat was initially meant to fight at 205, and it's been bumped
Yeah.
up to heavyweight now. Do you reckon that's gonna shift it somewhat in your favor?
Yeah, no. I mean, he's been in what, a training camp for the last 2-3 months. So I mean, him going up like I don't like hit his physical feature. He doesn't look like he's a big 205. Like I mean, if you told me that he can make it to 185, I'd believe you. Now I know he's fought heavyweights. His not his last fight, but the two fights before his last fight were all at heavyweight. So I mean, he's no stranger to it. I mean, I respect his ability. I enjoyed watching him, so I have nothing ill will or anything against this guy. Uh, and I'm just kind of shocked that there was no 205ers that wanted to fight him. The fact that he has to bump up to heavyweight to make his debut, I mean, kind of sucks for him. Now that goes into my favor, but at the same time, like I said, I'm just getting back into training. I got 2 weeks of training in before I even I'm like, yeah. And yeah, so I mean, all I've been doing since I've accepted this fight is cardio, 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 and more cardio. So hopefully I have some cardio.
That would be the hope. I mean, you showed the cardio in your last fight against oh no, not the last fight before that. But
The Taffa fight, yeah.
Taffa fight, yeah, that was a really impressive showing. I don't think I've spoken to you since that, but I thought that display was, yeah, showed a new Jared Vanderaa in a lot of ways.
Well, my cardio was like, all right, so like I'll use my Taffa fight versus the Romanov fight. So prepping for the Romanov fight, I had a phenomenal coach. My wrestling coach, we literally did everything. Everything Romanov did, we expected. But I also let him take over my cardio plans. And I immediately felt like the moment like I started sparring or fighting Romanov, I'm like, my cardio, like I kind of knew my cardio is not where I need to be. Like this isn't how I like my cardio. So after that fight, literally I think that day or the next day, I was talking to my coach. I'm like, hey, I love the wrestling. You nailed that. Like we there was not one part of Romanov's game plan that we did not suspect. But you're no longer allowed to run my cardio. I'm like, I love you to death, but no. Like you could run it in the sense as I will let you know what I will do for cardio. And if you want to yell at me while doing it, by all means. But I'm like, some of the workouts and stuff, I don't vibe with them. For other people, I know that works phenomenal for them, but for me, I really hate it. And to each their own, especially on what makes you feel better and great. So we took in the last couple days, and I'm just like, all right, well, I don't like the cardio you guys are doing. I'm going to try my best to get it done this way. If you guys have any suggestions, I'll take it. But just know I'm getting my cardio done the way I've always done it. And when I've controlled my own cardio and not let someone else, I always felt like my performances are better. Now, granted, there's definitely going to be an asterisk on this one because I only had 2 days, 3 days to prepare for some cardio.
Of course, yeah. So I presume that means, are you going to be looking to like finish the fight as quick as possible? Is that going to be the goal for this one?
Yes and no. Okay, so he's more or less going to be faster than me. So I'm not going to try to rush in there, try to chase a guy that's quicker than me, and then just tire myself out getting nowhere. So I'm going to see how it goes because I know he's went through 2 or 3 opponents. So I'm pretty sure he's flustered already there. So it's just like, all right, well, we got to see what happens in that cage. I know once I get in the cage, there's a few things I always like to do. Immediately punch and land the first strike. There's immediately, and then I just kind of go from there. It's like if I see the grappling there, maybe go for that route. If I'm finding better like the striking range, I'll do that. And I mean, going into this fight, I have like what 9 9-10 inch reach advantage on him.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm not certain.
Yeah. So I mean, like rushing it might be a downfall. Like now, if let's say I rock him and his eyes are rolling back, yeah, I'll try to finish it right then and there. But I'm not going to try to blow my load in the first 30 seconds and he survives the weather and then I lose.
Were you aware of Azamat beforehand? Obviously, this is his UFC debut, but he put on a very good showing on the Contender Series earlier this year.
I believe I did watch that fight. For some reason, like I'm bad at watching the Contender Series, but I think we were watching it because it was either a teammate or a friend of mine that was fighting on that card, and I caught it. I'm like, all right, and then I rewatched it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember watching this cat, So I thought he did real well, and I don't disagree with. Plus, he has a solid record of undefeated. So,
every time I've spoken to you, I've asked for a prediction, and every time you've given, I think we've had rolling heel hook, spinning back kick. What's the prediction for this one?
We're going to go flying knee. We're going Masvidal Askren right here.
Awesome. Can't wait.
5-second flying knee.
Brilliant. One thing before I let you go, I actually spoke to Harry Hunsucker, a former opponent of yours, the other day, who's now in the UFC. He's making his second walk in the coming weeks. He said to me, one of the fights he really would like to get back now he's in the UFC is a matchup with yourself on a full camp this time. What do you think about that?
Sure. I mean, like, I have a feeling that he thought it was an easy fight or like I feel like he definitely had a lot of like excuses on why he lost that fight. Like, I've heard a lot of people who say like, oh, he said this about you. And I'm just like, whatever. Like, if it makes you feel better, then cool. It's like, to be honest with you, it's like when I watched his fights going up to that, we literally were like, I got yelled at from my corners because I didn't finish the fight fast enough. Like after everything was said and done, they're like, yo, dude, like you gave him an extra fucking minute way too long. Because we watched all of his fights where he had a quote unquote full camp and you could literally see his cardio fade after 3 minutes. I believe you can actually hear my teammate Jamal going, hey, 90 seconds are up. We can finish this fight. 90 seconds are up. He has no more cardio. And then also going into that fight, I was expecting to fight Oscar Cota, who's a technician in boxing. Like, his boxing is great. I wasn't expecting a brawler. I was expecting to actually have a back and forth with, more of a technical style of fighting, not a guy that's going to blitz. And then for me to immediately change up everything 4-day notice. And yeah, he did take the fight on a 4-day notice. Cool. But honestly, he needs to kind of not worry about me right now. He's got a tough opponent, Tafa. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you this, I have fought both of them. I could not pick up Justin. Those motherfucking legs are huge. That's the thing. It's like, he has a fight with, Tafa that he needs to be focused about. Now, once he beats Tafa or whatever, if our paths cross, cool. Like that, I'm not against fighting him again. Yeah, whatever. But I think he has a really tough opponent right now in Tafa that, he should be worried about that than me.
100%. Yeah, once you're in the UFC, there are no easy opponents anymore. And then I presume if you get the win, Tanner Boser, is that the fight you want next? Is that the one you're gunning for?
Yeah, I would like to fight him, but I'm also not picky. If they're like, hey, you gotta fight anyone on the roster, you're fighting him. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not one of those people that it has to be Bosen. Now, I just think it would be a fun fight. Like, stylistically. I mean, I was told that I was being disrespectful for calling out Ben Rothwell, but again, I thought that would have been a fun fight to have. Like, no, there was no ill intentions. I just felt like he fought, I fought. Maybe we should fight soon, you know. And I'm like, you know, that's Ben Rothwell. That'd be fucking awesome to share the cage with him. So I'm open to whoever. If it's, you know, Bosner, Ben Rothwell, or fucking some guy off the Contender Series, some guy off the street, you know, not saying the UFC would do that, but like hypothetically speaking, like I like fighting. Hence why I'm here on a week notice coming off 2 weeks. I didn't give a rat's ass about the sport or just punching people. I wouldn't be here.
Awesome. Yeah, exactly. That this fight proves it. Thank you so much for your time, Jared.
You're welcome.
I know you're probably on the clock and all at the moment, such as the nature short notice fights. Best of luck in the upcoming fight. If you want to quickly plug or give any shout outs to people, the floor is yours.
Thank you guys for having me. Always honored to be on your show. You can always go follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Jared Vanderaa. If you message me, there's a good to fair chance I won't reply because I'm terrible at it. You know this firsthand.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, and thanks for my team for, you know, allowing me to jump on this fight, management team, all that. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, tune in this Saturday, Jared Vanderaa versus Azamat Murzakanov.